Good evening, Texoma. You're watching News Channel 6 at 10. I'm Ashley Fitzwater.
And I'm Chris Horgan. Cattle ranching is a major Texas industry.
But as News Channel 6 Dave Caulfield reports, the estimated 14 million cattle that call the Lone Star State home, they could be giving you a little something extra to breathe.
Now take a look at what he found in this story you'll only see on 6.
It kind of raises some questions about air quality. You're such a cheeser, too.
On a sunny afternoon in Wichita Falls, Amy Martz pushes her son on the Lucy Park swings. Neither have a care in the world. But a new study out of Texas Tech suggests those blue skies Martz's son is playing under could contain airborne particle pollution from cattle feed yards. Scientists estimate that over 46,000 pounds of PM 2.5, or very small particles, are released into the air every day from feedlots across the southern plains. You could fit over 7,500 particles of PM 2.5 on this one penny. But don't underestimate them based on size. This type of particulate matter is the type that you could breathe deeply into your lungs. And if you're exposed to enough fine amounts of it, can aggravate asthma, bronchitis, or even cause a heart attack.
As a mom, I would be concerned, and I never really thought about that before.
But is this new study really a cause for concern? We went directly to the source, the Institute of Environmental and Human Health in Lubbock, to talk to two of the study's authors, environmental toxicologists Phil Smith and Greg Mayer.
There are lots of sources of air pollution, and one of those sources is agricultural production.
Smith and Mayer collected dust samples around cattle feed yards. We told you last month that the two scientists found antibiotic resistance in the air downwind of the feed yards. They also found large amounts of particulate matter in the dust. But where do these particulates come from?
The majority of the particulates that we sampled were likely emanating from the south end of a northbound cow.
When cattle do their business, what comes out forms a layer of material over the feed yard pen. The pen floor dries out throughout the day, and the shearing action of the cow's hooves breaks the material up, some of which becomes suspended in the air. But how far can these disgusting and potentially harmful particles travel?
We know from other reports that those very fine particles can travel essentially globally.
Smith and Mayer say that Texomans should not worry about potentially being downwind of the 23 tons of dried fecal matter being pumped into the air each day.
I think we're all breathing stuff in all the time, sure. Is it awful? I don't think so.
It's not something that just started. We just happen to now put some metrics to it, right? Cattle production like this has been going on for a long time.
A sentiment shared by Texoman Jose Zambrano.
The earth we live in has been, messed up enough that we're breathing in worse than just cow crap. We're breathing in toxins from our vehicles, so cow crap's the least of my worries at this point.
In fact, almost all of the U.S.'s particle pollution comes from sources other than cattle. The Environmental Protection Agency has both daily and annual limits to the amount of PM 2.5 a state can produce. Texas has not violated either of those standards. The EPA also tends to focus on population exposure, not a single source that may be impacting an area.
A lot of the area in West Texas would not have monitors because the population is not as high.
Feedlots are a lot lower than those types of sources combined.
Although 46,000 pounds of cow feces seems dramatic, according to Smith, that number is across 5 states with very large surface areas.
You can spread that over that large area and it's virtually unnoticeable.
Unnoticeable for now. The study hypothesized that the amount of PM 2.5 suspended in the air could increase in times of prolonged drought. The authors hope that, in this case, knowledge is power.
We simply are in the business of providing information that goes into good decision making about environmental stewardship.
Dave Caulfield, News Channel 6.
Dave, thank you. Smith says the cattle industry has already activated strategies at their production facilities to minimize particles and odors from getting into the air. They want to be good neighbors and good citizens, and now, armed with this information, good environmental stewards. We ask you today in our online poll question, do you think gas coming from cattle could be monitored to create cleaner air? Look at this, 86% of you said nope.